Imagine this. Soldiers roll into the countryside with trucks, machine guns, and a mission to protect farms from invaders. But their enemy isn't another army. It's a flock of giant birds. And in the end, it's the birds who claim victory. Hey T-Squad, it's Kirsty. Today's Curiosity True Tale takes us to Australia, where farmers once begged for help against thousands of emus, yes. The tall, flightless birds with powerful legs and sharp beaks. What followed became known as the Great Emu War. And spoiler alert, the humans didn't win. The trouble started when flocks of emus began roaming farmland, trampling crops and knocking down fences. For farmers who were already struggling, these birds weren't just a nuisance, they were a disaster. They turned fields into playgrounds, eating and crushing what little food people had planted. Desperate, the farmers cried out for help. Instead of simply sending hunters or building fences, the government made an unusual choice. They sent soldiers. With them came trucks, heavy weapons, and boxes of ammunition. The plan seemed simple: drive the emus away or eliminate enough to protect the crops. Confidence was high. After all, how hard could it be to stop a bird? The soldiers spotted groups of emus on the horizon. They lined up their machine guns and opened fire. But here's where things got strange. The birds didn't panic, they scattered into smaller groups and ran in every direction. They were fast, darting through scrub and brush, ducking low, and even weaving side to side like trained fighters. The soldiers struggled to keep up. Trucks got bogged down in the rough ground. Guns jammed. Shots echoed across the fields. But when the dust settled, only a handful of birds were gone. The rest had vanished into the bush. The soldiers tried again and again. They set ambushes, aimed into large flocks, and even mounted machine guns on trucks. But every time, the emus outsmarted them. The birds could sprint like racehorses, leap fences, and slip away before the guns could track them. It was as if the emus knew the land better than anyone, and maybe they did. One officer even joked that the emus had the cunning of trained guerrilla fighters. After weeks of frustration, the operation was quietly called off. The soldiers packed up their weapons and left, while the emus kept strutting across the fields, completely unbothered. To the farmers, little had changed. To the army, it was a humiliating chapter they'd rather forget. And to the public, it became a running joke. Newspapers reported that the birds had won the war. Of course, the government didn't just give up forever. Later, other measures were taken to control emu populations, but the legend of this strange battle stuck. The image of machine guns failing against a flock of birds was too absurd to forget. The Great Emu War became one of history's funniest defeats where feathers beat firepower. And that's the tale of the war no one really won, except maybe the emus. So, T-Squad, what do you think? Should this count as the strangest battle in history? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to sip safely.